especially for many few workers in Zimbabwe. Remember, it's not everybody that is working in Zimbabwe because of the economic as conditions currently affecting the country. And Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, in an effort to try to appease the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Remember, Zimbabwe is a military state, and for any president to continue to exist, that president has to actually act in the best interest of the military. Otherwise, if a president doesn't do so, then his hold on to power is actually in vain. Greetings, welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonepani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa today promised the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces perks, including houses, as well as also better salaries and allowances to the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. And I'm speaking about the soldiers in Zimbabwe. Remember, he is where he is because of the soldiers who decided to just put the constitution aside and pave his, a way for him politically to be president. One of the fiercest dictators to ever emerge from Southern Africa, and I'm referring to Robert Gabriel Mugabe. So, what necessitated this promise? But anyway, we've always heard, even during the tenure of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces were always promised houses, were always promised a good life. And remember, by the way, even during the days of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, soldiers, especially during his last days, soldiers were paid higher salaries compared to any other civil servants, and they were the first to be paid because of their importance in the Zimbabwean politics. So even Mnangagwa coming in, he had to actually promise them something. I think the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces are the lowest paid force. I think in Southern Africa, yes, they are the lowest paid force in Southern Africa. Unfortunately, some of them have known no other country but Zimbabwe, and absolutely known no other wage but the wage that they are getting from the regime of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. The soldiers in Zimbabwe are paid the worst wages. I think was it sometime last year towards elections where we saw a video that was disheartening. Soldiers begging for beer, revealing that by then I think they were paid something like 70 United States dollar. And I'm talking about soldiers who were part of the presidential guard. This was embarrassing to the core. So the question is, where will he get the money to actually pay all to increase the salaries of these soldiers? And if he is to, and they said they are working on a payment system that would be specifically tailor-made for the soldiers. If ever that is going to be implemented, it's clear bribery to the soldiers. He has to actually promise the members of the force a good life. He has to actually promise the members of the force, better welfare. He has to continue promising them houses. But is his government capable of building each and every soldier in Zimbabwe houses? I strongly don't think so. This is not the first time for this to be done. Robert Gabriel Mugabe did it. Most of the stands in Country Park are owned by the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, soldiers. Country Park was created mainly for soldiers. It is soldiers who benefited from those stands, who are owning actually all those, almost all those stands. in counterpart. There are very, very few civilians in Bulawayo who are owning those stands. I'm sure also in some parts of Harare as well as other provinces, there were efforts, I mean, long time ago, which were done to, but will you continue building the houses for each and every generation of soldiers? Is this what soldiers need in Zimbabwe? I strongly believe this is not what the soldiers need in Zimbabwe. It has been proven that soldiers in a democratic society who do not meddle with the internal political affairs of any country, they earn better than soldiers in dictatorship. Just look all are, and they are not at risk of war. Most of these soldiers, especially in democratic countries, they are paid very, very well, and they are not at risk of being killed through war or being sent. Look at the Zimbabwean soldiers. They were sent to DRC. What was the purpose of that? Was that in the best interest of the nation to send the soldiers to the Democratic Republic of Congo to fight the internal battles of Congo? If ever there were national interests, what were those national interests? There were absolutely no national interest there. That is where individuals such as Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa and other military generals benefited. They went there because the political leaders then wanted the minerals in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and they got a lot of actually minerals, and I'm sure even up to today they are still benefiting. That is why when Mnangagwa became the SADC chairperson, what did he start with? He started with actually sending soldiers to the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Of course, they were beaten, they were defeated, to say the least. So trying to appease soldiers through houses, trying to appease soldiers through better salaries, and knowing that the economy cannot, in fact, we cannot afford to pay better salaries. I can attest to you, giving even soldiers an amount of 500 United States dollar per month, Mnangagwa government cannot afford to do that. That is still very, very legal. Soldiers, I mean, for example, in South Africa, I'm sure they're getting above 1,000 US dollars. In Zimbabwe, I'm sure they're getting below 250 United States dollars. If the lecturers are getting something like that, so soldiers, I'm quite sure they're getting quite a significantly lower amount. So I think that is another empty promise aimed at trying to get the support as well as the loyalty of the members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support our channel by pressing the thanks button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Umhlabane is signing off. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast as I give you more.